It seems there are some rumors flying around about Sega offering us a new mini system. This comes from a translated article from Famitsu. In the article, Mini Chief Yosuke Okunari talks about what fans could expect in the next mini system. More specifically, he says he thinks for the next one we may go with a concept close to the Mega Drive Mini. If I have to say some names, it could be an SG-1000 Mini or a Dreamcast Mini. With the success of the Sega Genesis Mini or Mega Drive Mini in other regions, Sega has really accepted the Mini market into their hands, releasing a Game Gear Micro and the Sega Astro Mini. So it's no surprise that they want to continue down that line and give the consumers what they want. After the past couple articles though, I'm a little skeptical about what they actually want to offer. For instance, the Game Gear Micro was centered around Japanese gaming culture. Other regions really wouldn't understand the concept of a micro system. And after the big news of the Game Gear Micro and their fog gaming, I'm just a little hesitant to believe what the article says. Not trying to be a buzzkill, but a lot of these articles in the past have kind of overblown some statements that these guys have made. But he continues in the article, which does bring me a lot of hope for a new system. He says that the next mini system will take some time to produce. The Game Gear Micro is only sold domestically in Japan. When we do the next one, I feel like the project scope will be much bigger as we gaze upon the world. So we won't be able to release it at this time next year, or 2 years after the Mega Drive Mini. We can't make it that quickly. That tells me a couple things. I'm not really sure why he mentioned the SG-1000, because that was not really a global success. It released the same time as the Famicom, and a lot of people don't even know what the SG-1000 is. It was actually the system that released prior to the Sega Master System. So of those two systems, the SG-1000 and the Dreamcast, and him saying that they need time to produce it, it's safe to say that they would lean more toward a Dreamcast, since that was way more widely accepted and loved by many people around the world. I think if the SG-1000 was actually an idea of theirs, they could do that now with the hardware. I don't know why they're skipping a Sega Saturn Mini. I'd love to see a Sega Saturn Mini. I'd rather see a Sega Saturn Mini. Not that I don't want a Dreamcast Mini, I would also love a Dreamcast Mini, and I'm kind of interested in seeing what kind of hardware they're going to use, because if they do release a Dreamcast Mini, it's going to need a lot more power than what we've seen in mini systems in the past. All in all, I think we could see a Dreamcast Mini in the future. I'm not sure how far away. It could be a couple years away. The technology is definitely there. We have some chips that are used in Android devices that can put out a ton of power and that could easily play those games. I'm more interested in seeing how they handle the controller and maybe the VMU type stuff. That controller was pretty big, and I think if you're doing a mini system, you can't make that controller mini to go along with it. Basically, the controller is bigger than all the mini systems we've seen so far. And how many controllers will be included with it? And if we follow the trends of other mini systems, you need at least 2. And since the Dreamcast released with 4 controller ports, will this be the first mini system where you can have 4-player out of the box? I'm excited to see what Sega has to offer. I can't wait to get any more news about this in the future. I'm willing to wait a couple years for a Dreamcast Mini, absolutely. I'm interested in seeing what you guys have to say about this. Are you interested in a Dreamcast Mini? Do you think it's weird that they're skipping over the Sega Saturn? Or do you think that the Dreamcast made more of an impact and it makes sense for them to go that route? Or do you think that they could release an SG-1000? How do you think they're going to handle the controller? Do you think they will mimic the original Dreamcast controllers, or will they have to make something new to fit in with the mini aspect? What games do you think they would include on the Dreamcast Mini? The Dreamcast had a ton of great games and there's a lot to choose from. Leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think. And that's all I got for you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is the part of the video where I thank those users who support the channel through YouTube memberships and Patreon. John Westby, Door, Rick67, Travis Morton, Geode, Jason Holbrooks, James Burkhart, Mike Muniz, Sam Torres, Yaroslav Oruzov, Andre G, Din Cardoso, Red Silvers, Craig Livesley, Lynn Mayer, James McEwen, Jeremy Mullins, Bob, Travis Is Win, Red, Philippe Guilherme Sabino, and Batman.